Certainly, if the minority leader or any other member of this House has classified information about a sensitive and important subject like foreign intelligence and there's no other way to present it, this is an appropriate way to do it. I want to be sure that I understand the parameters under which that's being done. It is occurring pursuant to a unanimous consent agreement that sets forth the conditions of this meeting.
Yes.
And isn't the minority leader has mentioned that there were secret sessions of this House in 1979, in 1980, and 1983, and apparently there has not been one since 1983?
I think that's accurate.
To the best of your knowledge. I address it to anyone.
That's the best of my knowledge. I'm the minority whip. I'm sure the leader would verify that as well, and we have members here who were here during that time, but there has not been a secret session since 1983. There have clearly been times when the room has been secured, but not
Surely.
for a secret session, and that's
so. And in the history of the United States Congress, since its founding, there have been secret sessions no more than 5 times.
That's not correct. I think.
Do you have an estimate of it?
I think the early days they were in secret session all the time, or much of the time, and 3 times since 1825, I think there have been 3 secret sessions. Prior to that, I think there were many secret sessions.
So since 1825, 3 times in the history of this country, and at no time since 1983, we have done what you are proposing this unanimous consent agreement to do. Now, in this session, so that I understand the parameters and assure that we're not really doing the public's business in secret that ought to be done out here in public, will the session and the debate be limited to the presentation of classified material or the discussion of the significance of that classified material?
That's my expectation. No. Yield to.
No.
If we move this without unanimous consent of the rules, it provides for an hour of debate, and you can debate and discuss the information that's presented and the conclusions that may have been drawn from that information. Could I yield for?
Well, let me just get clarification of that.
I don't have the time.
Yeah. I'm just trying to be, I would not want to limit the ability of anyone to debate any aspect of this. If their points are clear and justified, I would want them to do that in front of the American people and not in a secret session, unless it in some way compromised the confidentiality and the classified nature of the material. And that's why I'm trying to be sure that if I come tonight, as I intend to do to this session, and I hear an hour or 15 or 20 minutes of debate that has nothing to do with these classified materials, I want to know if I'm going to have the right to raise a point of order that this is conducting the public's business in secret and that we have been brought here under false pretenses. I assume that won't happen, but I want to be clear before going into this session what my rights are pursuant to the unanimous consent agreement, because if the unanimous consent agreement does not protect that, then it would be appropriate, I suppose, at this time to ask that the agreement be amended to provide something along those lines. Well, I would just suggest that we would be better off having this done in the unanimous consent agreement itself, since that is what's setting out the terms of this discussion. It is a very, very serious matter when we do the public's business in secret. That's why it's only been done 3 times since 1825. And it is a very bad precedent for this House to get into the business of conducting any of its business in secret, except, and Mr. Blunt appears to provide the exception, except, just concluding on that, and then, of course, except under a circumstance where there's classified material on something as important as the security of our families, and so long as we have set out all the parameters of the meeting in the agreement, then I have no problem with it. But I don't want it to wander off in debate, which now my friend tells me I can't talk about afterwards because I came to this secret session about something that maybe didn't need to be secret. When you talk about the 70s and the 80s and the like, it's 3 times since 1825. Let me just be sure that I'm clear, because maybe we're in agreement on this. The only purpose of your requesting this secret session is to present to the House or have others present matters that you feel you cannot present in public concerning matters that are classified. It may be necessary to discuss other interrelated matters, and you can anticipate what questions you may be asked, but the only reason for convening the House tonight in secret is because there are classified matters that you feel would jeopardize the security of our country if we discuss them in public.
I think I'm in agreement with the parameters the gentleman suggested. I'm also in agreement with I also understand that when you raise those topics, you have perhaps a fuller exchange of ideas, but certainly you can't control what the exchange of ideas will be.
Of course.
In the hour that we would mutually agree to give ourselves for this topic. And I believe the topic is every bit as important as the implementing legislation for the Panama Canal Zone or other things that this has been used for in the past. And I frankly think the topic is of supreme importance to the security of the country. And
Thank you.
That's why I was prepared to make the request, but also prepared not to make the request with my discussions with the majority leader and the speaker about a way that we could mutually agree how to divide the time, how to establish rules that go beyond the rule that I would have been entitled to ask for, but perhaps not as far as being able to prove that we wouldn't talk about anything in that hour that wasn't of a secret nature. And I would thank the gentleman.
Yield to the gentleman from Wisconsin.
The gentleman yield. Let me simply say I was here for those secret sessions, and I think the great utility of having another one, given the mumbo-jumbo that I heard at the last three, is simply to demonstrate the almost total uselessness of secret sessions.
Well, I will, at this point, withdraw my reservation, but would want noted by the reservation my concern as a former member of the judiciary about the precedent-setting nature of this. The fourth time since 1825, and would just ask that we stick to the purpose for which the gentleman has said we are gathering, and we give the most careful consideration before embarking on any such secret sessions in the future.